What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Darian, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I enjoy looking good and smelling great. If you yourself are a person like me and you love to do just that, look good, and of course smell great as well, then you come to the right channel. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you can hear my tips on fashion and of course a lot of information on a lot of great fragrances that are out there for you to wear for different situations, different occasions, and seasons. In today's video, I want to talk about 5 of the best rose-based fragrances on the market. Of course, I haven't smelled every fragrance out there that has the note of rose, so I'd appreciate it if you guys leave it down in the comment section. Some other great fragrances that have the note of rose that I did not mention on this list. But again, these are just 5 of the top 5 that I have in my collection that I want to talk about and share with you guys on today. So if you want to know what those 5 fragrances are, 5 great rose-based fragrances, or 5 of the best rose-based fragrances in my collection, you already know how we do. Keep it locked right here. Okay guys, thank you so much for staying tuned in. Let's go ahead and jump right into this list. So the first fragrance that I want to talk about is one to me that seems to really get overlooked a lot. It's kind of looked at in this particular collection as like the redheaded stepchild. And you know, I myself, well, I'm not going to go into talking about it yet because I'll wait until I introduce it. But the first fragrance that I want to talk about that's an absolute gem, in my humble opinion, from the House of Creed, this is Royal Mayfair. Royal Mayfair from the House of Creed. This is one that a lot of people, as I said, dismiss as being one of the worst fragrances from this lineup, the Creed Millesine lineup. And I was kind of in that category initially as well. I will tell you, the opening of this fragrance is an acquired taste. It can be challenging. I'm not a big fan of the opening. I don't like, typically like eucalyptus, definitely don't like pine tree, and those are 2 very prominent notes in this fragrance. But because I was collecting the whole line, I got this one and I gave it a try. And I will tell you this, the first time I wore this, once it got past the first 20 minutes or so, and that mid kicked in, that rose note kicked in, I fell in love with this stuff. The dry down on this fragrance is one of the best in my collection on my skin. Once it gets past that, you know, kind of pine tree, eucalyptus type opening, when the rose kicks in, this stuff turns into something magical on my skin, and I really, really like it. And the rose is the note for me that did it, the note that saved this fragrance for me. Again, I decided to make this list because I realized how good rose, the note of rose, works on my skin. And again, that's the note that really made this fragrance, or turned this fragrance into one that I really enjoyed. So again, I would challenge you to, if you don't like this fragrance or you feel like you didn't like it because of the opening, I would challenge you to give it another wear. Give it about 20 minutes or so and let it start to dry down, and you will see the magic happen when the rose note starts to kick in and kind of take this fragrance on from the mid to the dry down. So that's why I made the list. This is the number 5 fragrance on this list from the House of Creed. This is Royal Mayfair. The next fragrance on the list was probably one of the first fragrances that made me conscious of the fact that I really enjoy the note of rose and that I could wear it. When I first started wearing fragrances, I was kind of anti-fragrances that leaned a little bit feminine, that had notes like rose and some of the other floral notes, jasmine and things of that nature in it. And when I wore this one changed my mind, specifically about the note of rose. And this is from the House of Amouage. This is Lyric Man. If Lyric Man is number 4 on this list, you know I have some great ones in store. But I absolutely adore this fragrance. It's really, for me, about the kind of lime opening and of course the rose and incense. the incense and the rose in this one is where the contrast comes in. I love fragrances sometimes that present that contrast. You have the kind of smoky and incensey nature kind of battling against the floral kind of juicy rose that you get in Lyric Man. And I love the way they play off one another and the way they kind of compete for attention, so to speak. Absolutely beautiful fragrance. The rose kind of makes it lean feminine, but the incense is very dominant in this one as well, and it keeps it kind of right there in the middle, gives it a very masculine undertone to this one, and I absolutely adore it. This one is down to here because this is a very unisex fragrance. My wife and I both thoroughly enjoy Lyric Man, and that's why I made the list. The number 4 fragrance is Lyric Man. Number 3 fragrance that I want to talk about is from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Very close second favorite in the Maison Francis Kurkdjian lineup to Baccarat Rouge 540. Man, this stuff is good. This is Oud Satin Mood. Again, one of the sexiest fragrances in my entire collection. When I throw this stuff on, my wife always asks me, what are you wearing, with a smile on her face. And when she does that, I know that I'm doing something right. I know I'm in the zone, and I'm wearing Oud Satin Mood. Of course, it's a rose oud combo. I think this features a note of Turkish rose. And oh man, it's just so good, man. It's so good. The rose, to me, in this one helps to not make this fragrance overly saturated with the whole note of oud. And that's what I love about it. I smell the other oud fragrances from this collection, and they're a little bit too much of that kind of pungent oud for me personally. They're not bad, but just a little bit too oudy, if you will. And again, for me, the rose in this is what keeps this one from being overly saturated, like I said, with the scent and note of oud. And it's just a beautiful fragrance on my skin. Again, this is really great for close encounters. It's a sexy fragrance. The rose comes off very sexy in Oud Satin Mood. And just as that name kind of indicates, it kind of sets the mood for close encounters. And I love this stuff. From the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, this is Oud Satin Mood. The number 2 fragrance on this list, you guys have heard me talk a lot about this one. From the house of Bond Number 9. I love this stuff. It's close and near and dear to my heart. This is Bond Number 9's New York Oud. Again, another rose oud combination, but this one also features a note of saffron. Oh man, the saffron kind of gives it this almost incensey type vibe. And I love the way that works with the rose and oud in this particular fragrance. It has that signature Bond Number 9 DNA to it, and I love the Bond Number 9 DNA. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Bond Number 9 fragrances do very well on my skin, and this one is no different. Bleecker Street used to be my favorite fragrance from this house, and this has now become my favorite. I can't get enough of this one. Again, this is my second bottle, and I've only had this one for a couple weeks, and I've already got it down to here. So that tells you how much I wear it, and I'm gonna keep on wearing it. I love this stuff, man. From the house of Bond Number 9, I encourage you guys to try this one. If you like me and you like fragrances that kind of bend the gender a little bit, this is a great one to look at. Again, this is Bond Number 9's New York Oud. And the number 1 fragrance on this list, from the house of Frederic Malle, if fragrance was art and it were in a dictionary, this would be the picture. And this is Portrait of a Lady. This stuff is gorgeous, man. This is a spicy rose fragrance, and it's a little bit different from the other ones on this list, the rose oud combinations. And then you have the incense with Lyric Man, and then you have the the eucalyptus and kind of pine tree vibe with the rose that you get with Royal Mayfair. This is spicy. It's spicy and masculine. This one also has incense in it as well. And again, it's just a very spicy and masculine rose. The rose in this is one of the most authentic rose notes that I've ever smelled. And I do understand, this is one of the few fragrances that I understand the high price point on this one, because this fragrance is close to $400 at full retail. And I get it. To me, if you have it, it's worth it because it's that doggone good. This fragrance was composed by Dominique Ropion, and it's a masterpiece. Nothing short of a masterpiece. If you never put your nose on this, I encourage you to do it. If you want to smell an authentic rose-based fragrance, this is the one that you want to look at from the House of Frederick Malle. This is Portrait of a Lady. Okay guys, that's my time. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. You guys could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with me, and I sincerely appreciate that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos out to other people that you think could use this information or find me entertaining. Because I'm your boy, Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.